Hey everybody, Al Puglisi Trains. Today I'm at Howard Zane's house in a town called Bernard. Bernard was named after Howard's dad. It's a town on the layout. When visitors come see the layout, or they look at the book, or they look at my videos, they often see buildings on the layout and they're like, you know what? I'd like to have that building. Can you guys build me that building? And this video is about the Foothill Station, which was a kit Howard initially built or bought, and he didn't like the kit, so he completely redesigned it, turned it into what he calls the Foothill Station. So let me give you a little bit of story behind it and show you the building. Well folks, this is the Foothill Station, and it's a tiny HO station. It takes up a footprint of about maybe 6 by 6 inches, if that, maybe 5 by 5 inches. It's very compact, and it's very small, and it's super cool. And we had a client in Rockville that has purchased some items from us before, and he was over at the layout and we were running some trains, and he saw this little green Foothill Station and said, wow, can you guys build me one in O scale? And the answer is yes. As a matter of fact, he has the first one that we ever built in O scale. It's a Howard Zane design. He basically redesigned the kit and came up with this build, and I'll show it to you upstairs. Now, if you're not an O scaler and you're an HO scaler, we can build you one in HO scale as well. So either O or HO scale. And it sits in the town of Bernard. And this layout is so big. It was amazing that he even spotted it, because every time we're down here, we see something that we never noticed before. And my fellow from Rockville just honed right in on that beautiful little jewel. So let me show you the build, and let's talk to Howard about it upstairs. Well, folks, before I ask Howard how he's doing today, and I can't wait to hear his answer, I'm gonna show you this. This is the O scale build of Howard's design, Foothill, and it takes up about a 10 by 10 foot, 10 by 10 inch platform, and the client is an O scale high rail collector, and he just wants these for his collection, and he does not have the space for large structures, but he wants structures that are Howard Zane designs and that we build here for his collection. And we build them one at a time. We don't stock these. They're one at a time builds. Howard, how you doing?
Great tubs of twisted turtle testicles. Doing fine.
Tell us about Foothill. Tell us the story you
Foothill
told
was
me.
originally a model, a kit that was brought in by Timberline. And I started to build it downstairs, but I couldn't get the damn thing to fit. So finally I said, the heck with it. I just rebuilt it in reverse. So it seemed to work, and I did a lot of changing, kit bashing or whatever, which I don't like kit bashing because I don't like to bastardize other people's designs.
Right.
So I pretty much scratch built the whole thing, but just using Foothill as a reference.
Right.
And it turned out pretty well. Now this customer of Al's came in, he saw that station, and he said he wanted to build it. So Al now is my disciple or trainee, whatever you want to call it, except he's going to be teaching me how to do this stuff eventually. He's doing pretty good. So I supervise this thing, but Al built the whole thing actually by himself, and I'm pretty proud of him. There's a couple of screw-ups on it, but we can fix it. Like over here, we'll get rid of the stairs and put a real wood stairway there.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, it looks a little better.
Yep.
But other than that, it's fine.
Yeah, it's a pretty little compact design.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot of interesting little things going on. It's a little bit run down. You know, it's got a little bit of a roof run down, and, you know, but it's cool. Now, it doesn't have to be green. It can be a lot of different colors, couldn't it, Howard?
Green's a good color for it, but this particular design, you can pretty much use any color except orange or red or pink.
Right. Right. But now, the price of this is $895 if you want an O scale one, and it takes up about a 10 by 10 inch platform it sits on here. The HO version would take up about 6 by 6 inches. I measured downstairs.
Yeah, that's about right.
and that one would be $795. Now you ask yourself, well, the O scale one is twice as large as the HO one. Why is there only $100 difference in price? And the reason is it takes the same labor time to build an O scale one as it does to make an HO one, doesn't it, Howard?
Yes, it does. The only difference is the material cost.
Yes. And there's not a huge material cost on something like this, so most of this is labor.
Well, something gigantic, you're talking extra bracing and extra thick wood, so it could take more time. But something like this size, yes, same time.
Right. And also to give you a case in point, and this is a perfect time to talk about it, show us the engine house you're building in HO scale for one of your clients, Howard.
Oh, this is for our client in Pennsylvania. Just started this morning. This will be a basic engine house.
Right.
And this will be the little office over here.
You don't have a sketch of this one, do you?
No, that's.
You know what? This looks a lot like the one you just did for. This is very similar to the one you did for me.
I rebuilt it for you.
Right. But
this will be the roof we're working on right now. This will over here, and there'll be corbels.
Right.
And here, this will like that, and so forth.
Yep. This is very similar to the one, folks. Go to my channel, and you can see the engine house that Howard built for me. And what I'm getting at here, Howard, is that the amount of labor to build the HO one is going to wind up being pretty much identical to the O scale one. It's the same amount of labor. And that's why there's not that big a difference in price. Now, there was a little bit bigger difference in price because this is a big building and the materials cost
That's all.
was there. But again, it takes the same amount of labor to make an HO one pretty much as it does an O. Now, some people can argue that with O, you can even spend more time because it's bigger.
Well, we could probably charge more and say, hey, it's O scale, so it's double the size, it's got to be double the cost, and people do that. However, we're not those people.
No.
It's the only way we deal now is what's fair.
Right.
To us and basically to the customer.
Right. And each build is a little bit different. We don't build, no two are exactly the same. So there, look, a foothill. If you want a foothill, we can do one exactly the same, or we can make it a little bit different. We can make it a different color. We can make the roof a little bit different. You know, just change a few little things here and there to make some differences. And Howard, I'm very grateful that you allowed me to do this.
Well,
this build.
You were way ahead of your schedule, and I figured this would be a very good project. Now, if a customer is worried that he thought I built it, I was there all the time while you built it,
Right.
and I watched you.
It's your design too.
Well, it's yeah, but I don't want you to wreck my design, but you're not going to.
Right. Well, plus you helped me with this. You built the base for me over the weekend. That was a big
Oh,
help.
it's no big deal.
You know, so
He did most of the work. He really actually did all the work.
Well-
There's a few things you could add, like put a cap up in here and there. We
Yeah.
can get to that later.
well, I put some sand in there just to make it a temporary fix because the roof is decrepit. So-
Well, it's kind of crepit actually. It's not really
Decrepit.
decrepit.
Decrepit. But anyway, Howard, you did have a little bit of a hand in it, you know, with the base and helping me with it the whole way through. So anyway, folks, we're going to be selling these because we're getting a lot of requests from customers that they don't have a lot of room for big buildings. And you don't need, if you're an O scaler or a high rail scale person, you don't need a ton of room. You know, we're going to be building a signal tower, another signal tower
what
soon.
I've noticed, Al, is everything is for business, industry, or whatever, but there's no housing for scale people. Where
Right.
do these 1 to 48 people live? So I'd like to do some townhouses like this. You
Show
saw
us.
me do this yesterday. This is a 5-minute sketch. Actually, about 3 minutes. Just a rough of a grouping of townhouses that we'll do on a grade.
Wow. And that can be an HO or O
Oh, yeah.
scale.
Now we can add 5, we can add 6. There's only 4 units,
Right,
and that wouldn't be that expensive
right,
because you don't have to build the sides.
right.
You just build the front and the back.
You're building the fronts and the backs.
And that'll be a very good value. And folks, they gotta have a place to live. That's what happened in my layout downstairs. All of a sudden I realized nice little 187 people had no place to live, so I built a whole bunch of housing. It looks great. Had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. If there's a market for it, we'll do it.
Yep. And again, folks, if you want one of these custom built, they run $895 for the O-scale ones, and they run O-scale or O-scale high rail, and then they're $7.95 for HO ones. It's not lit, but they could easily be lit. That's not a big deal. But it can be serviced. It can be next to the railroad track, or it can be serviced by cars or highway or what have you. There's a lot of flexibility with it. And we were talking the other day, this thing would look good in like a brown, or look good in a barn red, or
Anything.
a blue gray, many different varieties.
Blue? No,
Yep.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
We got barn red, we got gray, we got white, off-white.
That
Green
would be
looks
neat.
fine.
Beige and brown.
That's all white,
Yeah, all kind of colors. Well, Howard, I appreciate the time today. And folks, if you're interested in this, contact me at alpug1@verizon.net. Thanks, Howard.
Hey, thank you.